Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to yet another video from the Thrift Store Prepper. And in today's non-exciting, boring video, we're going to be repackaging bulky items. I guess unless the title didn't give it away, that should give you a little bit of information and description as what this video's content is going to be about. And that's right, it's not something that you should be new to you. It's something we have done before, and something I've kind of started out this whole project in YouTube channel was on recycled packaging, and something I've been collecting for quite some time is bags that have Ziplocs or Mylar bags. And the first ones I started to collect were these, and these were things that my marijuana gets delivered in. So I have various sizes of bags here, and these are Mylar, smell proof, and I actually have some that can be sealed that I'm going to save for a rainy day and maybe something a little bit special. But I have a whole bunch of these, and these are things that sometimes people will throw away or discard without a second thought, and they are very useful and they have multiple uses. So those are the ones here that I get from my marijuana, and here are some examples of stuff I saved. So we've got our jerky packets here, and I'm pretty sure that you follow the Thrift Store Prepper, you would have seen our vegan pad thai recipe where we cooked it in a beef jerky bag, and you've seen the trail mix repackaging ramen, and these are, you know, things we keep. I've also got my mangoes. I haven't seen those for a long time, but there's something I get that comes in a Ziploc bag, and these raisin bags. And these all have moldy use, and they can be used again just because, you know, they are resealable. And something I have used them multiple times for is as my prison cooking stove, and I can't say how great they are, especially these ones with the gusset bottom that you can stand up. You can put your noodles in there, rehydrate them, leave them, and forget about them. But the other thing they're very good for is for repackaging items that are a little bit big and a little bit bulky. Now, bear with me one second. Let's put these to the side and these to the side. And we're going to have a look at a couple of things I have in my pantry that are a little bit bulky. So the first thing I have here are these mashed potatoes. Now, I actually did buy a box of these when I first started this, and probably one of the earliest videos that went up on this channel was one of the first hauls, and I picked up a pack of these. These are great little things to have. We tried to pick items that have moldy use, and these for $2 you get 2 pouches inside. But the boxes are pretty cumbersome, especially if you're somebody like me who has limited space and is trying to keep a very compact, semi-portable pantry. You know, I do have a little bit of a nomadic life. I do tend to bounce around different parts of the city, and more often than not live in room rentals. I've had a couple of apartments in a studio before for a shorter amount of time, and I'm currently renting a basement room. I do have quite a lot of access to the basement, and I have access to the apartment upstairs where my buddy stroke roommate lives. And I do have a completely, you know, functional kitchen at my disposal, but this is my space and the space that I rent, and I like to try to make the use of it and keep my things close at hand so I know what I got, a little bit OCD and stuff. But these things, as greater items as they are, they do take up quite a bit of space for what they are. So what we're going to do is open them up, and we're going to repackage them into whatever bag we decide on. So as you can see, you could just leave them like this. They're kind of already in their own packaging and they're already labeled, look, so you really didn't need necessarily to repackage them per se. They do have them, but these are things that mice could nibble through, or they could split or become punctured in some ways, so it doesn't hurt to maybe reinforce them. And as I say, we don't really want to be taking up space in cumbersome boxes. So we've tossed the boxes and we have our mashed potatoes here. Now, another thing that I'm going to be looking to maybe condense and downsize is this tub of chicken broth. And again, it's not exactly big, but it's rather a large item for what it is, and does take up quite a little bit of space. So again, that's something we're going to be looking to put into one of our bags, and I'm not sure which one. And another little thing I have, whoops, I'm just knocking over a cup, but don't worry, it was empty, so there's nothing spilled. Are these little tub of fried onions. Now this is kind of a little handy container in itself, not necessarily something we will be tossing out, and maybe the same at this. We might even hold on to this. This could even be used as, you know, a bowl to eat out of, or a way of containing leftovers or something. I don't know, you know, many things have multiple uses, but as terms of my pantry, these kind of items are taking up much needed space that I could put something far more substantial and nutritious in. So that's why we're going to be downsizing and repackaging. So what should we do first? Let's have a look if we can find. So I've got these little coconut chip bags that they come, they're about $1, and they're kind of a nice little snack item. And these are very, very handy for cooking in as well. Now, I think this might be just a little bit too big to fill our onions in, so I think maybe I do have a smaller little mylar somewhere. And maybe this one will do. It's a nice little gold one. It's a pretty snazzy bag, so let's see if we can fit our crispy onions into the mylar bag and save ourselves a little bit of space. Now, as I said, this really wasn't going to be the most exciting video, and it's by no means a high octane roller coaster ride of thrills and spills, but we're trying not to get too many on the table. But as you know, when we make ramen noodles and do these things, we always seem to make a little bit of mess, but that's okay. You know, Bob Ross says little mistakes can add to a picture, and I must excuse myself, I have got a bit of a cold. We've been given a poor air quality warning in the city of Toronto, and for the last week or so the air pollution levels have been quite high by all accounts, and many people have had respiratory problems and cold-like symptoms, and the Health Ontario are saying it is due to poor air quality. So I don't know, maybe some global cabal using a militarized industrial complex and a series of chemtrails and pollutants are putting things in the air that are slowly killing humanity, alongside with things like 5G and technology. So if that's your particular viewpoint and stance on life, you may agree with me. If not, you might just think, my God, this guy is whack job batshit crazy. So I think we've managed to get all the onions into this little bag. I'm trying to make it sound as exciting as I possibly can, and I know I'm probably failing greatly, but there you go. So we've managed to repackage our onions into a little gold bag, and hopefully that will save us a little bit of space. We can tuck it in somewhere out the way and not have to worry about it. So we are going to hold on to that little container. As I say, many things have multiple uses, and I've got a little bit of a mess going on here, so I don't really think we're going to be able to get our soup base in here, but possibly we could get our soup base in one of these, and if not one of these, perhaps one of the gold bags. So you know what, rather than start off with a smaller one that we're going to need to replace, let's just open a big one. And again, these have the gutted bottom, so they will stand up like that, and you know, you can use these for canning, which is something I have promised and will get round to. Believe you me, I do have some plans up my sleeve for this channel, if it doesn't seem like it, and I do seem to make a lot of videos about nothing, but I am kind of a Seinfeld fan, and you know, in the spirit of Indiana Jones, I'm making this up as I go along, which I probably say in every video, just as well as I say there you go, which is something I've noticed from watching back my videos. I seem to say there you go quite a lot, so I'm gonna try and limit myself to there you goes. We're gonna open up this packet of soup base, and would you believe it, it's quite a motherfucker to get into. Maybe I might even abandon this before we start. I'm not sure if or how we can open it. So we've got there. Aha, there we go. We've got a little thing on the inside. That's why we can open it. There you go. We needed to remove all the wrapping. And you learn something new every day. So we're going to discard the trash. We don't need that. taking up valuable space. So here you go, it's kind of got this little pool thing there. That's not too bad. And within seconds of saying I'm going to try to say there, not say there you go, I almost immediately say there you go. So without trying to make too much mess, let's transfer our soup base. You know, I should probably use, wait a minute, I know what I got, the perfect thing. So we're going to make, I have a little piece of cardboard here, a funnel. That's going to help us, I'm sure, so it may or may not hinder us. Let's see how we get on with this. Oh, that's pretty painless so far, no disasters, so we'll keep repeating the process until we fill this up. And as you can see, this is very, very, very yellow. Oh, there you go. We got a bit too ahead of yourself, and there's another. There you go. So if there are any alcoholics out there among you viewers that are looking for a drinking game, perhaps, maybe before you watch my videos, get yourself a bottle of tequila or vodka or whatever your poison is, and every time I say there you go, take a shot and let me know how wasted you get at the end of my videos. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but it might make things a lot more interesting and certainly exciting for your viewing pleasure. So back to the soup base. Let's pour a little bit more in and try to not make as much mess. I mean, to be honest, I'm doing quite good at the moment. There's only a little bit of sprinkling, and almost in the middle of that we had a little disaster. So we were very right to go with the bigger packet, because that is nearly full up to the top. So I'm actually going to, I don't know, let's see how much more we can get in. I would like to be able to get the whole container into one, and maybe we will be lucky enough. Maybe. And if not, what we will do is we'll just make a little baby pouch that you can put in your MRE or something. We have it. I stopped myself. So if you're about to take a shot and you are playing the drinking game, you're going to have to put your glass down. That was not a there you go. So that one's done, and here we go. As we said, we've got a little baby one here, and that's going to be absolutely perfect, I think, to put our remainder of our soup base in. So, you know, we've kind of taken a big bulky package that doesn't really benefit us that much, and we put it into smaller things that can, if it does want to come out of the box, it seems to be stuck in there. Here we have it. It's starting to pop out now. And perfect. So, you know, there is a little bit left, but we're not going to worry too much about that. We're clean as we go, and there's another use for a piece of cardboard. You can make yourself a little scoopy thing to pour your soup base into used weed baggies. So we've got a nice big one there, and we've got a smaller one there which we can put in, you know, our backpack or something, or if you have a bug out bag or you're going camping, there's a nice little bit of stock for you for your soup. So, you know, there's about a spoonful left in there. We're not going to get too upset about that. And there are some containers. Now, I might save those and make a video out of them just to show you that we do utilize things we say throw away, but we're going to try and utilize everything we possibly can at the thrift store prepper, and, you know, that's kind of all. Look, there's some more there. Yeah, that looks kind of questionable and suspect. It's a good job it's yellow and not white or blue. If you were a fan of Breaking Bad, you're obviously not white, blue. But still, we got a nice line of chicken broth there, so we're just going to scoop that to the side because we don't want anyone else getting any ideas or thinking it's something that it isn't. So what we're left with now is our packets of instant mashed potato, and, you know, another couple of things we can say about this, just to add some further information and content to this video, is you don't necessarily have to use this for mashed potato. You can use it as a soup base. Add more water and less powder and you will get a potato soup. Or if you wanted to, you could even add a little bit of this in with instant oatmeal, and that would certainly add a little bit of sustenance to your oats, and you can actually make savory oatmeal. I know lots of people in the Western world tend to think of oatmeal is a sweet breakfast type thing, but in some parts of the world they do eat it savory, in particular like places like Korea and China, and I believe the Philippines. They have spicy variants of oatmeal. So this would be another good thing that you could just empty out and add to your instant oats, and just add water, and you've got yourself a filling meal. So I think the last time I did this, I put 2 packets into the Nature Valley trail mix bags. But since then, you've seen that I've been using these to repackage my ramen, and we can get around 3 ramen in here. So I'm not sure, what should we repackage these in? Should we repackage them in the raisins, or should we use the fancy gold? You know what, I think I'm going to go with the fancy gold. I don't know why, they just kind of look cooler, I think, in a little bit more. This one seems to be difficult to get into, so we won't use that. Here we go, this one looks a little bit worn and torn, so this is going to be our perfect candidate. And as I said, if you are still tuning in and watching this video, you really have nothing else better to do, but I do appreciate your loyalty and persistence in watching this. So what do you think? Do you reckon we can get 2 in one bag? I think so. So these are actually more durable than you actually think. And I'll perhaps use my teeth to break it open. So here you go, you look inside, there's just, where's the camera? There it is. Sorry, I was pointing at the wrong side. You can see it's just powdered. And in goes one. And luckily, I was just going to say we didn't make a mess, and almost immediately we made a mess. But it doesn't matter. We're not going to cry over spilt milk, or in this case, spilled instant mashed potatoes. So again, rip off the top and empty it into the packet. So I don't know, maybe we could even get 3 in here. No, I think 2 is going to be our limit. Definitely we're going to stick with 2. And even that's a little bit close to the mark, but no, we've got plenty of space. So there's 1 packet of mashed potato repackaged, and there you go. You can look at the discarded mashed potato remnants that we lost on that particular repackaging. Let's see if we've got another. Yeah, there's another pretty beat up one. So I like using the ones that are a little beat up and keeping the more newer ones for possibly other content and material that we're going to be bringing to you very, very soon. So if this is the most boring video you think you've ever seen on the YouTube, leave a comment in the section below and let me know how boring you found it. And if you find this informative or interesting, God only knows why you would find this interesting, leave a comment, let me know. And again, if you don't feel like making comments at all, you don't have to. No one's going to find out where you live and come around and kidnap your cat and send you parts of its body in the mail just as a little warning to tell you if you don't pay, shit will happen. So it's up to you. Make a comment, don't make a comment, leave a like button, all that shit that most YouTubers tell you to do. You can ignore and disregard here. Just glad that you're watching. We try to make it a little bit humorous. I try to add my sarcasm and dry wit to this as much as I can. Whether or not you appreciate it or not, I do not know. And as I said, I've just made you a drinking game that may be fun at parties. Get your buddies over, smoke a couple of blunts, get the vodka out, binge watch the Thrift Store Prepper playlist, and see how many times I say there you go. And I don't know if I will have a super fan or not that will actually watch every video that I've ever made and keep a tally of the amount of times I say there we go. If I ever make the 50 viewer mark, maybe one of the 50 might be that way inclined, but who knows. I think we got 32 subscribers, and if you have recently subscribed, thanks for jumping on board. Be sure to watch the rest of my videos. If you want to share them to your social media sites, go ahead and do that. I'd like to think the word of the Thrift Store Prepper is reaching more than the 2 people that actually do watch these videos regularly. So the last bag here is ready, and I'm pretty sure you know by now what we're doing. We open it with our teeth, and in it goes. So you can see how we've taken quite a lot of bulk, and what I might do is get all the packaging that we've discarded and put it next to our repackaged item and just see if we have saved any space at all, or if we've just made it look different. But this certainly, you know, the mashed potato, at least in here, is less bulky than it was before in the boxes, and because it's kind of soft, you can squish it into corners of drawers or barrels or whatever you're using to store your stuff in now. Just to let you know, this is just for me, so don't worry that I'm using my fingers and not wearing gloves. I don't care if I poison myself. I've put far worse things in my body than dirty finger mashed potato. So I don't know if we've got that one completely sealed or not. I think so. Yeah, that looks good. So we've got 3 mashed potatoes, our crispy onions, a baby chicken broth, and a big chicken broth. So we're going to take our bags that we didn't use and put them back into storage. There you go, and there's another shot if you are playing the drinking game for you. We can see this is one that still has the tear notch and can be heat sealed, which, you know, if I was using anything for long prep, that's what I would be doing. But in this instance, I'm just using stuff that I've already opened and have saved and collected and put it to use. So, you know, start saving your Ziplocs. You never know when you might need them, and maybe you too can start to utilize them a little bit like I do, and save yourself some space in your pantry. And as I said, I do have a very small pantry, and I, you know, kind of have not much space. You know, I've got a nice sized room. It's more than I need, or I certainly don't need any more space, and I can function and get by perfectly well in the space that I have available. And anybody, you know, who is living in maybe a student dorm or a van dweller, that these might be tips and hints that could be beneficial to you. So if you know, have any student friends, or you know someone who lives in a van, and I must admit, the idea of having an off-grid little tiny home in the back of a van that you can drive anywhere is very appealing to me. And certainly if you were fortunate enough to live in the warmer part of the world, where you could just, you know, fall asleep under the side of the road under the stars and crack open a pouch of instant mashed potatoes and crispy onions to eat for your supper, that would be very romantic indeed. And, you know, maybe if you had a little dog as company and a catchy theme tune, you could even make yourself a 70s or 80s style TV show. I don't know what I'm rambling about now. I've probably snorted a line too much of chicken broth and mashed potatoes. I'm not sure exactly what reaction you would get from that, but I'm not going to try it anytime soon, although I have probably tried worse things. But that being said, we're getting up to around the 24-25 minute mark. I think that's been far too long already in a video that just demonstrates how to repackage stuff. But, you know, I'm trying to engage with my audience, try to build a little bit of community. And in the last few weeks, you know, I've had some positive feedback from viewers. We've had a couple of new subscribers, and this is all encouraging for me. You know, I started this out without much thought or planning, and here we are today, where we are today, doing videos of this nature. I mean, you know, this is not exactly new content to you. I have done this a couple of times before, but again, it doesn't hurt to reiterate the lesson and learn that there are, you know, multiple uses, and we can save a buck here or there, or a penny at least, and use things that we may otherwise throw in the trash that can be a benefit to us without us really knowing. So I did say we'd put a comparison of the space side by side. So this is what we've got here, and if we packaged it all together on top of each other, you can kind of see that we save some space. But unlike these hard items, whoops, not the camera there. These things are much easier to toss in the corner of your pantry. So this has been a shit video production for the Thrift Store Prepper. Thanks for watching.